Hey everyone, I've got a big stack of books here that I'm going to go through. Uh, I really enjoy watching other people's book hauls, so I thought I'd do one for myself. Now I've got a bunch of stacks here from the start of the year. So I've got a January stack, a February stack, and so on. So today I'm going to go through all my January books, and then I'll finally be able to put them away in shelves rather than just having them out in big piles. I mostly have lots of horror here. Um, that's kind of the main genre I look for. But you'll see as I start going through more and more of these that there's other genres as well. We're starting off with kind of the standards. Um, these are authors that everyone has, so I won't spend too much time. We've got Dean Koontz, Watchers. Also Koontz, The Vision. I already read that one. Not one of his best. Midnight. The Bad Place. The Face. Um, this is one from his mid 2000s kind of era, which I've been told is not so good. Kind of starting to get into uh, just kind of regular thrillers rather than horror in this era. At least that's what I've been told. I've not actually read any of that stuff yet. I'll still look at it when I get around to it. Okay, now we've got even bigger name, of course, Stephen King. Everything's Eventual. We've got a movie tie-in version here. I've not seen that movie. Just After Sunset. Later. I think I'll read this one kind of soon. It's a pretty short novel by his standards, so that's appealing to me. I'll probably get around to it pretty soon. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we got Under the Dome. Oh boy, look at that thing. Well, I'll read it eventually. And then I was very happy to find these. We've got The Gunslinger, first in the Dark Tower series. Nice short one. Drawing of the Three. The Wastelands. You can probably see where this is going, so I'll try to go a bit faster. Wizard and Glass. Wolves of the Colour. Song of Susanna. The Dark Tower. And The Wind Through the Keyhole. I think that one's some sort of like a prequel or doesn't have a number, so I don't know, appendix, epilogue, something. Really happy to find all these, but I'm not going to get around to them for ages. It's just too long, too much of a commitment. So these are actually going away in a box, I think. I'm really happy to find them all in like a one livery, I guess you would call it, one kind of edition. Like they're set, they all go together. Yeah, they were just all sitting at a Savers. Really, really stoked. All right, different authors now. I managed to find a bunch by this guy, which I felt very lucky about. So Graham Masterton, Sleepless. Spirit, Graham Masterton. Family Portrait, Graham Masterton. This looks totally unread. Look how new that is. Guess it's just been sitting on someone's bookshelf for like 30 years or something. Got Prey, Graham Masterton. I really like the illustration of this rat boy kind of guy here. Oh, I got a bunch of this guy's stuff. Medical thrillers, but I'll still pick them up. Although I've got most of his early kind of stuff now that has cooler covers. Starting to get into the era where there's a lot less effort being put in. You know, I'm guessing that's late 90s. Starting to get a lot more bland with the covers. Got Dana Reed, Deathbringer. He sows the seeds of terror and reaps a harvest of blood. Yeah, looks cool. Blood on the Moon. All right. Another Dana Reed, Demon Within. Inside every sane man, there's an insane evil screaming to get out. Cool. Peter Straub Mystery. And I think this is all a series. Hang on. Peter Straub, The Throat. I think this is 2 and 3, and I do have Coco. So that's all 3. Haven't got around to any Peter Straub yet, but I've got quite a few of his books here. Okay, this next one I spent a bit more money than I usually would. It's Night World by Robert Bloch. I just didn't have anything by Robert Bloch, and I really wanted to check him out. Plus, this has a cool cover. Look at the detail on that. Got The Damnation Game by Clive Barker. I've not read any Clive Barker yet either. So I really need to fix that soon. Oh, this is a cool old obscure one. Martin Thomas, The Hand of Cain. The hands were evil. Yep. This is the stuff that I'm really, really looking for. You know, like just books I've never heard of before, but are very obviously horror or just genre books in general. Back to our more famous author, Shrine by James Herbert. I've read The Rats and I've read The Fog. Both really good, especially The Rats. This is like a classic, right? Nathaniel Hawthorne, The House of Seven Gables. So I think this is from like 150 years ago, but given a very late 80s, early 90s cover here. Built on land taken from a dead wizard. Not a good idea. Alfred Hitchcock's Spellbinders in Suspense. I got this because it has the birds in it, obviously. Who else we got? Yeah, Sax Rohmer, Robert Bloch. Definitely would check those out as well. Now this is a lion, which means it's like younger readers, right? Are children reading the birds? Maybe. Muriel Gray, The Trickster. I don't know much about this one. Big book. John Fowles, The Magus. I think this is more of a literary thing, but it does say filled with shocks and chilling surprises. Yeah, probably a bit more classy than your typical horror book. Or it might not even be horror at all, I don't know. Got Mirage, F. Paul Wilson, and Matthew J. Costello. I mostly just recognize F. Paul Wilson's name because he did The Keep. I've got Poe Must Die by Mark Alden. A descent into the black soul of a diabolical age. This seems to be a very obscure one. Margaret Hargrove, The Vision and the Dream. Pretty beat up. But yeah, this is the kind of thing I really like to find for $1. Just stuff that's super obscure. Yeah, sounds like a psychic powers, creepy kid type thing. Now this is Horwitz as well, which is an Australian publisher, or was an Australian publisher. Not sure if they're still around. I don't think so. But I noticed they spelled institutionalized with a Z. So that's more of an American thing. Wonder if it's an American author with an Australian publisher. Who knows? Anyway. Noonspell, Jane Williamson. Now this guy doesn't have the best reputation in terms of the quality of his books, but they've got really cool covers, so I'm still going to buy it. Oh, speaking of bad reputations, here we go. L. Ron Hubbard, Fear. Now this is from before he became a cult leader. So this is from the 1940s, but obviously a repress. So, you know, like a early 90s edition. I've got Wildwood by John Farris. Looks cool. Phil Rickman, The Man in the Moss. This painting's great. Big book though. Might not read that one for a while. Andrew Needham, Curse. Unfortunately, this is a very boring looking cover. But this is an author a lot of people really like, especially Pin. So still thought I'd check it out. Cursed Be the Child by Mort Castle. Now, unfortunately, this has been laminated, which I really don't like. I don't know. I mean, it works in one sense. It does protect the book, but it just looks a bit, I don't know. It gets all like bubbly in certain areas, like it's not been pressed down right. Okay, getting into newer stuff. My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I've been told this guy's good. I tend to try to find, 60s, 70s, 80s stuff. I really like the smaller paperback size instead of like the trade paperbacks. I don't know, I just like the format. But yeah, I'll still check it out eventually. And similarly, I rarely get hardcovers unless I see something that I think is particularly good. And I couldn't resist Altered States by Patty Chayefsky. The film's really good, so yeah, definitely wanted to check out the book as well. All right, moving into some science fiction kind of stuff now. Although you'll see it's mostly like sci-fi horror. So we got Alien Resurrection by A.C. Crispin, novelization, of course. I really dislike this movie. This is when it started getting real goofy. Alan Dean Foster, To the Vanishing Point. So this is the guy that did the Alien novelizations. Thought I'd check out some of his other stuff. Plus there's a cool skull on the cover. Nice. Whitley Strieber, The Greys. Most famous for Communion, obviously. This one has an awesome cover. Zan by Patrick Tilley. The Unstoppable Nightmare. Look at that bug alien thing. That's great. John Wyndham, The Kraken Wakes. Do people say Kraken or Kraken? I feel like I've never really got that. This one I saw in Paperbacks from Hell. Fort Privilege. So just got it because I recognized the cover. Now, released by Ace Science Fiction. Looks very like a Escape from New York or something. New York was a city under siege. All escape routes were jammed. Yeah. So sort of like action dystopian type vibe there. And we got Neuromancer, William Gibson. Everyone loves this one, so I'll check it out eventually. I especially got it because the cover was used by a death metal band, Righteous Pigs, which I don't think is even a great album, honestly. But yeah, when I saw this particular cover, I was like, I have to have that. Okay, this next pile is thrillers, and I've got some spy and other stuff as well. Ritual by William Heffernan. Looks like a serial killer thriller. The Prometheus Crisis by Thomas N. Scorsia and Frank M. Robinson. Looks like a disaster, nuclear accident type thing. Yeah, nuclear power plant. Cool. Open Season by David Osborne. Looks like the Most Dangerous Game type scenario. You know, man hunting man. We've got the movie tie-in version. Apparently the film's pretty bad. One More Sunday by John D. MacDonald. He's most famous for Cape Fear. At least in my mind. Looks like some sort of religious conspiracy thriller type thing. Thin Air by George E. Simpson and Neil R. Berger. They faded. They went zero. The men, the ship, everything. They disappeared into thin air. Sounds good. Charles Templeton's The Kidnapping of the President. Yeah. The Defector by Donald Seaman. Sea Man. Yeah, political thriller type things. I got a lot of these in a big lot, so there are certain things I particularly wanted. Some of these other ones I have no real idea what they are. Owen Sealer, The Bengali Inheritance. The trail led Chan into Hong Kong's seething underworld of striptease clubs, prostitutes, and corrupt businessmen. And then he discovered something nasty at the bottom of it all. Something very nasty indeed. Sounds good. So I have heard of this one, obviously. Marathon Man by William Goldman. And then I had no idea there was a sequel to this. Sequel to The Marathon Man, Brothers by William Goldman. Okay, starting to move more into spy stuff now. Assignment, Lily Lamaris by Edward S. Ahrens. So this is a spy series. James Bond-esque, except it's Sam Darrell. I got this because Nick from the book Graveyard really likes this series. I have read this one now already. I thought it was pretty good and good enough to buy some more of this series. So you'll see more in upcoming book hauls. I've got a few in the Modesty Blaze series. So there's the first one. It's a movie tie-in. The movie was not very good, in my opinion, or not good at all, actually. But I've been told the books are good, so I'll pick them up if they're the price is right. Pieces of Modesty, Peter O'Donnell. A Taste for Death, Peter O'Donnell. We got Last Day in Limbo. Then I got a couple of men's adventures here. Death Merchant, number 4, Chinese Conspiracy. And Death Merchant, number 47, Operation Skyhook. Hard to find men's adventure stuff here. Some sort of war novel, The Battle of Midway, now a spectacular film. Charlton Heston and Henry Fonda. Donald S. Sanford. Yeah, no idea. Don't really know the film either. And another war novel, Wheels of Terror by Sven Hassel. And this guy's books is supposed to be like particularly brutal and like gory and violent, I think. Yeah. Just a few more like miscellaneous type things. We got Louis L'Amour, The Rider of the Ruby Hills, and a couple of other stories there as well. I read my first Louis L'Amour just recently, and it was very good actually. I really can't remember the title. It's awful. I think it was The Burning Hills or something like that. Yeah, very interested to check out more. Got The Haunted Mesa, Louis L'Amour. And I think this is supposed to be kind of like an atypical one. Like there's kind of magical or spiritual elements as well. Gothic Romance, I think. Victoria Holt, The Shivering Sands. I just really like the cover. This one I assumed was like a movie novelization. I mean, it is a tie-in, but what it really is, when I took a closer look at it, is it's someone's memoir, General Umberto Nobile, of surviving this crash. And I think he was at fault for it, like he was the pilot. So it's about like what went wrong. Yeah, interesting. Not sure if it's the kind of thing I would ever read. I got it for 20 cents though, so can't really complain. Sean Connery. Yeah, I don't know. The cover's really cool, but not sure if I would read a non-fiction disaster survival type thing. We've got one literary thing. This was free, so The Odd Women, George Gissing. Maybe I'll donate this one. I'll think about it. Oh, and this one I was happy to find. It's The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer by Jennifer Lynch. So yeah, I really want to revisit a lot of David Lynch's stuff, and especially Twin Peaks. And I might even have to read that. I might even have to watch the show to like understand what's happening in the book, because I did watch it, you know, 15 years ago or so, but not sure if I can remember uh, enough detail. All right, and that's it. That's everything I bought in January 2025. I will definitely upload another haul soon of everything I got in February. All right, see ya.